Bradley, he's on mute.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right.
Okay, this is called to order. Today is Thursday, November 19th, 2020. And it is 1:30 p.m. And this is the City of Corpus Christi Building and Standards Board. And I now call this meeting to order. I'm Craig Loving, acting as the chairman today. We'll do the roll call of members, board members. Tim Honey, are you out there? How do we find out if they're out there? He's not here. Craig Loving, I am here. Lillian T. Helms.
She's
I'm
present.
here. Present.
You did?
She's here?
Present.
Okay, excellent. Pete Cavazos. Here. Art Ramirez.
An excuse.
Hmm?
He has an excuse. He won't
Okay.
be here.
Coletta Graham.
Coretta Graham is present, and the name is Coretta. Coretta, like in Coretta Scott King.
I apologize, ma'am. I just read what it was in front of me. So Coretta Graham is here.
Yes,
David
sir.
And David Foster, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting? Or do we
Yes.
read, are the minutes read
Yes.
by staff? Diane, are minutes read, or are the minutes read by staff out loud during the meeting?
This is Yvette Aguilar, Assistant City Attorney. No, the minutes are not usually read out loud. You just ask if anyone wants to make a motion to approve or if anybody has any changes or anything.
Thank you. It's been a while, so I forget from one meeting to the next.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Okay, if everyone's had a chance to read the minutes, I will accept the motion to approve. Do I have that motion?
So
Yes,
moved.
second.
Go ahead and state your name, Pete. Yes, go ahead and state your name.
Oh, Pete Cavazos?
Okay, I have a second. All those in favor? Pete?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
Can you hear the board members on the WebEx?
Yes, I can hear you, but I don't know who it is that's speaking, but that'll work for me.
Oh, this is Miss Graham. I was just checking.
Yes, Ms. Graham, we hear you very well. Okay, so with that done, we will proceed to staff report.
Ask for a motion.
Huh?
Ask for a motion to approve it or disapprove, or have any questions for the staff report.
Ask for, excuse me, ask for a motion to approve the staff report? Oh,
So
okay, so
moved by
okay.
Graham.
Okay, we have a motion. Can I have a second, please?
David Foster, seconds.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. Okay, staff report. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address this board on an item that is not on the agenda today? Please be advised that the Open Meetings Act prohibits this board from answering or discussing your comments. This board may only make a statement of factual information, recite any existing policy in response to the inquiry, and advise you that the subject of your comments may be placed on an agenda of this board at a later date. I guess we had no public comment today. Oh, I should have done that for staff report. Okay. So now what do we do? Proceed to old business? Legal, proceed to old business?
Old business, yes, is next on the agenda.
Well,
Check to see if
just a
there's any,
second,
'cause
yes,
it's been too
old
long.
business is next on the agenda. Sorry, this is Yvette Aguilar from legal. And Diana, you didn't have any specific update to give from the staff report?
No.
Okay, all right. Then yes, we are on to old business.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and proceed to old business. Cases to be presented to the board discussed are the possible action. And do you say what the first case is, or, okay.
Yes, Diana Garza, Code Compliance Officer. I have a question. For the old business 626 Glazebrook, can we ask and see if the member is ready to proceed, or we were going to delay? If he wasn't,
Yeah, I'm here.
Is he on WebEx now?
Yes,
This is
I'm
Mr.
Shakir, his
Samir Hamed?
yeah.
And are you able
this
to
is his
proceed
bro-
at this moment?
Yeah, this is his brother, Shaka. I'm presenting him. He got busy, he couldn't attend.
Okay, is he going to be able to participate if we take up other cases first, or are you just going to be participating for him?
I'm gonna be for him.
Okay.
For him.
All righty then, thank you. Then yes, we can go ahead and proceed with 626 Glazebrook.
Is there any way we can turn volume up? I can't hear what's going
yeah,
on.
I can't, I don't understand what they're saying. No, the volume.
Oh, that plus everything, yeah. Well, if we could take these things off. Are we distance enough to take them off? No, we're not? Okay.
I think that maybe when you're speaking, you can remove them to speak, and then once you're done, you can.
Can we check with IT on the volume of the people participating from WebEx, because they couldn't hear the representative for 626 Glazebrook?
And how's everybody doing on their computers at wherever they're at? Can they hear?
Lillian Helms, we can hear you fine and clear on my end.
I can hear you. I heard the representative.
David Foster can hear as well.
Ariel is on the can hear.
Yeah, it's probably his phone. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, for the representative from Glazebrook, it looks like IT said everything's fine on our end, so you might want to speak up a little bit or make sure your microphone's a little bit closer to you so that we can hear you clearly when it's your turn.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
This is Liza Lopez, Code Compliance Program Manager. Pursuant to Article 2 and in accordance to Section 13-22B of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, this department has initiated and prepared the above-listed case for your review and consideration. On August 23, 2018, the code official determined that there were reasonable grounds to believe there was a violation of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code or any rule or regulation concerning the health, safety, or general welfare adopted by the city as it relates to structures or premises, and gave notice of such alleged violation to the owner of the property. 30 days have elapsed since the notice of violation was provided, and such violations have not been cured. Staff recommends a hearing to be set not less than 10 days or more than 45 days from this date of complaint. At this hearing, staff recommendation for the above-listed property will be demolition.
Diana Garza, Code Compliance Officer. I'm presenting 626 Glazebrook. This case was tabled on July the 26th of 2019 for 60 days. Sorry. I thought I had turned it off. Sorry. Okay, this case was tabled on July the 26th of 2019 for 60 days to allow permits to be obtained. Required a timeline to be presented in the next board hearing, was required to put a fence around the property with signs to be posted. A permit was obtained for the roof and the permit for repairs. Both permits expired and work had not been started. Reinspection was done on October the 16th of 2020, and property was still in the same condition. A call was placed to Mr. Samid Hamid, property owner, on Friday, November the 6th of 2020, to set up an appointment for Monday, November the 9th of 2020. On Monday, November the 9th, I met with Mr. Hamid at location. I reminded him that the hearing was going to be on November the 19th of 2020, and he would be getting notice of hearing. I took exterior and interior photos of the property. These are my findings as of the 9th of November. Rick, I'm ready for the presentation. Okay, 626 Glazebrook.
Yes.
This is a fourplex. The fire, it had multiple fires. The first fire happened on August of 2017. Second fire was in January of 2018. This is the property, the exterior of this property. There really hasn't been any repairs done to it. He cleaned the property, but he hasn't installed any of the windows or anything.
Okay, can I interfere here?
You'll have
Not
to wait till I
yet. She has to
finish.
finish her presentation.
This is just the outside of the building. Now we're going inside. He did do a lot of cleaning. He gutted the whole area, but has not done anything to it yet. This is just walking through the property itself, inside. You can still see a little bit of fire damage on the interior. We're still on the first floor. There's still some openings from the second floor to the first floor. You can see that there's still, the plywood was just sitting on the flooring. This is on the second floor already. And he did put up a fence, but the fence is not really secure because you can still walk into the property. And that was my finding for 626 Glazebrook. Like an engineer? Not through our department. Yes. Mhm. But the only permit that he had obtained at the time was just for the roof, and then just to do some of the windows and stuff, but nothing was done. Yeah.
And this is Yvette Aguilar, Assistant City Attorney. I do want to direct everybody's attention to the notes that are included behind the timeline. This case was actually very first presented to the board in January 2014, 2019, and it's been tabled several times to allow the owner to get into compliance. And the reason it's been pending so long after that is because we didn't have quorums at some of the meetings, and then we had to pick additional members for the board, and that's why it's come here. But it should be noted that this property is way past the deadline for compliance that the board agreed upon. And if need be, I can remind you of the state law requirements for repairs or demolition when we get to that point.
Okay.
Are we going to hear from the representative of Glazebrook now?
Yes, I'm ready.
No,
Okay, we're ready to
well,
hear.
First, is there any other questions for staff from any board members? Is there any more questions for staff from any board members?
I don't have any at this time.
Okay, then at this time, I'm going to open up the public hearing regarding the property located at, Glazebrook, 626 Glazebrook. Is there anyone waiting to speak in favor or against staff's recommendation of the property located at 626 Glazebrook? You may now present your comments to the board. Please state your name for the record. Go ahead, Representative.
Okay, this is Shaki Hamid. I'm Samer's brother. He couldn't attend the meeting. So this property, we bought it burned. So the fire escaped before we bought the property. Anyway, we did the framing work on the property. We got inspected by the windstorm engineer, structure-wise. It's good to go now. We can cover the roof. But the whole delay happened after the COVID-19. Everybody got affected. We got affected. We are contractors. We're doing a job for the city. So it put us way behind all this time. Right now, we're pursuing to continue with the job and finish the property. But when you have delay affected everybody, it affected us too. So we didn't continue with the project. But as far as structure-wise, the building is secured, and we have the engineer inspected the building. Now, all what we still have to do on the building is a cosmetic, putting the window and finishing the building from the outside, wrapping everything, make it look nice. We put the fence around the building, we secure it, we pass by every week, but there is people in this area that they walk, they just push the fence, they threw their trash, and we have to go back and clean it. So we're dealing with this one too. At the meantime, we ordered the roof to be done next week, and next 2 weeks, and the windows. The permit has expired. We didn't want to go further with the building until we see what's going to happen with COVID-19. Now we have more or less a clear picture, we can proceed. So our goal is to approach the building by next 2 weeks, a month and a half to finish it all and get it done. Now, when we get to the situation, even with the city, project with the city, we had to get 90 days extra because of all the situation with the COVID-19. All right, we're late, and he's late with finishing, but most times things happen, it's not under control. And we had to pay people just because they're sitting home. We kept running our business. So we're not neglecting the building. It's not we don't want to leave it like this. It's our interest to finish the building and lease it out and move on. But we got to the situation like everybody else that we had to wait. It's not clear for us where we're going, how it's going to look like in the next 2 months, 3 months. So we waited like everybody else. Now we have a clear picture. We can proceed with the building.
Sir, this is Yvette Aguilar, the Assistant City Attorney. Were you aware that when the BSB board met back in 2019, they voted to only give a 60-day extension, that there was to be a fence as a perimeter, and the windows, roofing, doors, insulation was to be completed by the next meeting, which was November 2019. All of that was pre-COVID. Why wasn't all of this done by November 2019?
Ma'am, we did the fence, we did the framing, we had to pass inspections. It's not like within 60 days you can finish a building, 4 apartments, you can't finish it in 60 days.
But you understand that you've
We did.
actually had since January 24th, 2019, the board's been giving extensions since January 2019?
And you notice that the building has been done, all the building has been framing, the whole roof decking has been changed, the whole building is secured. And now we like, what are you talking about? We're lacking now with a month and a half, finishing just the exterior, wrap the building and secure it. So this is what we're gonna do in the next month and a half. It's happened, it's COVID-19 put us a lot behind, put a lot of contractors behind. Everybody's suffering from this one. I'm not saying this is a reason to leave the building as is, but we couldn't do any much. We couldn't do much with it.
No, but what I'm
So,
asking you, because
no,
I'm
what you're talking
asking
about
you,
the-
can you allow
no,
me to
no,
talk?
you-
I'm asking you why this wasn't done by November 2019, because that was your deadline. And the only reason you or your brother didn't have to present to this board is because that meeting was canceled. So all of that was pre-COVID. So what were the reasons that you didn't comply with the board's order timely before March 2020? Because the COVID stuff didn't start until March 2020.
Right, but
And y'all were
have you
due in
noticed
this.
on the building before? Yeah, have you noticed on the building before March 2020, we got to the point that we put the tithing on the building. We were ready to start wrapping the building, and we had some delays. There's rain. There's stuff happening. We had like all this together. It came against us. So if we're late a month and a half, it doesn't mean that we want to be late with the building. And there are some people working on the house, on the fourplex. We did the roof, we did the tithing, we covered the roof, and then we got the hurricane season, all this came out, and we had to go back and reinforce it. So during this time, you have rain too, that went through the building, and we have to go do some correction to the building. So right now, we have it inspected by the engineer. We're gonna put the roof and put the windows and wrap it from the outside. It will look nice and clean from the outside. Nobody has nothing to do with it. And we're gonna secure it. It's been secured with a fence since then. We did some of the work with that. We didn't ignore the board at all, or didn't ignore the notes at all. We did some of the work, but we didn't finish it.
Right, and under the law, the state law, the board can give you more than 30 days to repair if they establish specific timelines for specific work to be completed. And they gave a specific timeline for specific work to be completed, which was the windows, roofing, doors, and insulation was to be completed by November 2019.
And if I could say, this is Lillian Helms, and that's my concern. My concern is when you go through the notes, this actually, a permit was issued for the roof back in October of 2018. This is way prior to COVID-19 ever hitting, since we just hit COVID-19 in March of 2020. The permit was obtained for the roof in October of 2018. Permit for repairs was issued on November 22nd, 2019. It just appears to be delay after delay and things not getting done. My biggest concern also, I believe, if correct, this property is by a high school.
Correct.
Yes, you're correct, Ms. Holmes.
That really concerns me.
Ma'am, if this is really concerning you, it's not my business. I know my business is my building behind. I need to fix it and finish it. But have you looked at the building next door to it? Have you took pictures of the building next door to it?
We're talking about your building, sir,
This is what I'm
626 is
saying,
what we're
sir.
addressing.
Okay, my building has doors and it's locked inside and it has a fence. Now, I need to put the windows, even the windows are covered with Civic. It's not open toward the street.
Okay, representative for the property, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, what I'm asking for now, give me a month and a half to wrap the building from the outside with a roof and the windows, and we'll finish with this building. We'll be done. Nobody has issue with it. And we'll have a fence. It will have a wrought iron fence with a lock, and nobody has access to it anymore. I'm not going to put a temporary fence. I'm going to put permanent fence on it.
Okay. Does any board member have any other questions? Any board member have any other questions?
Where are we, as Lillian Helms here, where are we with permits now for a roof and permits to get this property rolling and sealed and safe?
Give me from 2 to 3 weeks, I will have the building secured, roof, windows, and fence in the front, and nobody will have access to it. And will look like any other building in the neighborhood. Actually, will look like the best building in the neighborhood.
Do you have the permits?
I have to renew it. I was just was going to the city right now to finish all this. I'm working on it. I will go to the city and renew the permit now. We have a permit on the building. And actually, we have the AC guys working on the building, and we have the electrical schedulers to work on the building. So we're pushing the building. We want to finish it. It's our interest to get done with the building.
As of.
Hi, this is Pete. Mr. Hamid, I guess my main concern is I see this being like a 50% rule where you have to bring everything up to code. And as far as your engineer to do the structural analysis, I mean, I know this is an older building, the bricks falling off the veneer. I was looking at some of the pictures on the inside. There's no structural sheathing on the first floor, so are your plans to put all structural
Right.
sheathing around the entire structure and redo it and bring it all up to
Right.
code?
If you notice, we demolished part of the brick, where it's like we have kind of separation. So our goal is now, we're taking this brick off, we're fixing the sheeting, and we're gonna go with the new brick all the way to the new level, and we'll be fixed. But we don't have any risk because the one that was cracked or is about to fall, we dropped it already down and we cleaned it. But we're gonna now go ahead and put a new sheeting and finish it.
Okay, that's all part of your engineer drawings and everything else.
We have engineer on the job side, and he signed on the framing, and he's gonna sign off on the roof for the windstorm. We're a general contractor, we do government jobs, so we're not gonna move without approval from the engineer and the architect. And we have blueprints that we submitted to the city, and we got the permit according to these blueprints and design that we have. The problem with this building was electrical, so we sent them a new electrical plans for it, a new plumbing, a new AC. It doesn't have AC, but we're putting AC in this building. We're upgrading the whole building.
Okay, thank you.
And the plans and the blueprints from the city, based on these plans, we got the permit for the building.
What's your timeline to have it completely habitable?
Completely, I will look between 3 to 4 months. Because we're upgrading everything.
I just want clarification. Are you telling the board that all you're capable to do right now is 1.5 months to do the roof and the windows and put a better fence?
Roof, windows, siding, paint the building from the outside and put the wrought iron fence. We have the fence actually ready to go. And the only thing we have to do later after this will be just working from the inside, which won't affect anybody because it will be locked and the windows will be in place and the fence will be in place. Nobody has access.
Okay,
It's
and
like, it would be like, I mean, it's going to be the best looking building in the neighborhood.
okay, thank you.
You know.
Nobody's asked yet, but just for the clarification for the new board members. So this should be included in your book, but I'm looking at 214-001 of, I think it's the government code or local government code. And on page 4, it's numbered at the bottom. So this is what it tells you. I'm sorry, page. Yeah, page 4. So this is where it tells you what you can do. So in conducting the hearing authorized under this section, the municipality shall require the owner, lien holder, or mortgagee of the building to within 30 days secure the building from unauthorized entry, repair, remove, or demolish the building unless the owner or lien holder establishes at a hearing that the work cannot reasonably be performed within 30 days. So we're beyond that. If the municipality allows the owner, lien holder, or mortgagee more than 30 days to repair, remove, or demolish the building, The municipality shall establish specific time schedules for the commencement and performance of the work and shall require the owner, lien holder, or mortgagee to secure the property in a reasonable manner from the unauthorized entry while the work is being performed as determined by the hearing official. So that is the section that the board went under at the last hearing when they gave a 60-day extension for certain things to be complied with by November 2019. And then lastly, a municipality may not allow the owner, lien holder, or mortgagee more than 90 days to repair, remove, or demolish the building or fully perform all work required to comply with the orders unless the owner, lien holder, or mortgagee submits a detailed plan and time schedule for the work at the hearing and establishes at the hearing that the work cannot be reasonably completed within 90 days because of the scope and complexity of the work. So there's your limitation on, or your parameters for allowing a 90-day extension. And we have not been submitted a detailed plan, and it doesn't appear that we've heard anything that states that all the work can't be completed within 90 days due to complexity or scope.
Thank you, legal.
Go ahead.
We're going to now close public hearing portion of this. Craig Loving, I'd like to take a motion from the board. Does anyone on the board have a motion regarding staff's report?
Do we motion to accept the recommendation, or?
That can be your motion.
I move to accept the staff recommendation. Graham?
Okay, Coretta, legal, we have to do it a certain way, correct? It has to be read verbatim?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so, Coretta, if you'll go back to the original letter from staff that starts off pursuant to the Article 2. Can you read it in that manner?
Oh, the whole thing?
I'm sorry, I'm speaking through a mask here, so it's kind of, pursuant to Article 2 and in compliance with section. If you could just read that all the way out and then make your recommendation.
Okay, pursuant to Article 2 and in accordance with Section 13-22B of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, the department initiated and prepared this case for review and consideration. On August 23rd, 2018, the code official determined there was reasonable grounds to believe there was a violation of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code and any rule or regulation concerning the health, safety, and general welfare adopted by the city as it relates to structures and premises, and gave notice of such alleged violation to the owner of the property. 30 days have elapsed since the notice of violations was provided, and such violations have not been cured. Staff recommends.
Sorry, Ms. Graham, I think we directed you to the wrong portion.
did.
The page right before that, where it says, under the provisions of Section 13-22.
Oh, I didn't have that on my book. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about under the provisions of Section 13-22H1C?
Yeah, read that part and state what your recommendation is. I believe at the top it said repair, but I believe the recommendation was demolish, or repair or demolish. What was it, Diana? Demolition. Yes. Staff recommendation is
Okay.
demolition.
Under the, this is Ms. Graham, under the provisions of Section 13-22H1C of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, and due to substandard and dilapidated condition of the structure at 626 Glazebrook, a hazard to the health, safety, and welfare of the public is henceforth declared. I motion that we accept the recommendation of staff to proceed with demolition of this property in accordance with the Corpus Christi.
Just to bring to your attention, I already spent $30,000 on repair on the building.
I'm sorry, just point of order. Anybody who's participating, the comment portion is closed. So at this time, unless you're a board member, there shouldn't be anyone speaking during the hearing at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Helms.
Did I make that motion correctly, or?
Yes, you did.
Okay, can I have a second, please? Would anybody like to make a second to that motion? Pete?
David Foster would like to second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion is approved. Move on to the next property. Next report.
Catfish?
And just for clarification, we had to pull from the old business 2442 Bevcrest because some additional notices needed to be sent on that address. So we want to make sure we're in compliance with all the laws. So we'll be presenting 2442 Bevcrest at the next meeting. So we're ready to move on to new business.
Okay. We'll move on to new business. Good staff, with the report on the next property.
Okay, this is Liza Lopez, Code Compliance Program Manager. We are moving on to 4326 Catfish. Pursuant to Article 2 and in accordance to Section 13-22B of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, this department has initiated and prepared the above-listed case for your review and consideration. On May 26, 2020, the code official determined that there were reasonable grounds to believe there was a violation of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code or any rule or regulation concerning the health, safety, or general welfare adopted by the city as it relates to structures or premises, and gave notice of such alleged violation to the owner of the property. 30 days have lapsed since the notice of violations was provided, and such violations have not been cured. Staff recommends a hearing be set for not less than 10 days or more than 45 days from the date of this complaint. At this hearing, staff recommendation of the above-listed property will be demolition.
Dana T. Garcia, Code Compliance Officer. A little history on this one, since it was an old case that was brought. We started this case back in 2017. This property had a fire back in April 29 of 2017. A fire damaged structure. The fire was on April 29 of 2017. The case was started on August the 9th of 2017. A consent letter was mailed on August the 14th of 2017. 7 days reinspection was done and didn't hear from the owners, so therefore I had to execute a warrant to get in to do my investigation. Notice of violation was mailed on February 28 of 2018. Extension was granted to the property owner. She indicated she was going to get some help through donations. On October 2018, a roof permit was obtained. Permit expired on April 14 of 2019, and work had not started. On September the 23rd of 2019, the property owner came into the office to apply for a litter critter. She stated Valencia is assisting in a fundraiser for her. Sutherland's has offered to do the joist rafters and hurricane straps. Habitat for Humanity will redo the roof. Scott Electric will rewire the entire house after the new rafters and roof was done. Due to the Building Standards Board hearing that we didn't meet, we had all this, no quorums. I restarted the case because it had been over a year since we had started this case. So I started the new case back in April 28 of 2020. The city became aware of possible violations, at which time I conducted a building survey and took photos. On May 26 of 2020, notice of violation letters were mailed to all possible owners, occupant, and interested parties. On August the 14th of 2020, a reinspection was conducted and the property was still in violation. September the 11th and September the 12th of 2020, notice of violation was published in the Caller Times. October 26th and 27th of 2020, notice of hearing was printed in the Caller Times. October 26th of 2020, emailed complainant letters to the Building Standards Board members. Copy of each property was filed with the Nueces County Clerk's Office. On October 27th of 2020, notice of hearing letter was mailed to all of the possible owners, occupant, and interested parties. Taxes, as of October the 20th of 20, amount due was $7,421.40. Utilities had been terminated since February of 2020, and we had been having contact with the property owner. There is liens and maintenance on the property. So these are my findings on catfish as of the new, when we first started the new case. Okay, 4326 catfish. We have had multiple complaints with the neighbors because of the structure. Before it was boarded up, we had a lot of vagrants and cat animals in and out of this property, and the neighbors were concerned. There's kids in the neighborhood, and they couldn't be out playing because of the structure being dangerous to them. This is going into, through the garage. The fire extended from the garage to the kitchen to the living room, and the other rooms were only smoke damage, water damage. But it was a significant amount of damage to the fire. They did do a lot of cleaning, but you can still see some of the sharded material, the rafters and the joists and stuff. Since then, they've been bringing in more of their stuff into the property. There's boxes of their items and stuff that they're just storing there. But due to the weather elements and stuff, it's all getting water damage and stuff. This is a hallway, and there's still a lot of shredded lumber and stuff. And that was my finding for 4326 catfish.
Thank you, Diana. Is there anyone on the board that wants to ask any questions of Diana on this property?
Yes, Lillian Helms. Diana, I just wanted to clear up. You said that the original fire damage to this property was in April of 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and again, the property just still remains charred from that original fire?
Yes, ma'am. And we be
Thank you.
getting multiple complaints from the neighborhood asking why we haven't done anything with it.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board members to staff? Okay, hearing none, at this time, I will now open the public hearing regarding the property located at, again, 4326 Catfish Drive. If there is anyone wanting to speak in favor or against staff's recommendation of the property located at 4326 Catfish Drive, you may now present your comments to the board. Was there anyone scheduled to speak for this property?
My name's Lydia.
If there is, please state your name for the record.
Ms. Elizondo, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you
Okay,
hear me?
you can state your name and then you can start.
Okay, my name is Lydia Elizondo. I'm the owner of the property 4326 Catfish Drive. Yes, the fire did occur on April 29th, 2017. At the time, we didn't have insurance on the house. I had just graduated from Del Mar with my associate, and I was unemployed. And one of the things we had to cut was the insurance, unfortunately, because we were living off of my husband's disability. We've been living off of his disability. After the fire, we had to rent an apartment, which the 750, he only receives 1,249. And with the light, the phone, and the car payment, the rent, we don't have any money left. I've asked for assistance through FEMA because after the fire, we got hit by Harvey, at least for the roof, but unfortunately, I was denied because of the fire. I went to Sutherland's. They were supposed to help me, but it didn't turn out that way. But Zarski's the manager there had offered to give me, sell me the wood at retail price, not, at the high price that they sell it. But I don't have the money to buy them. We've been buying little piece by piece. Yes, I did move some stuff back into the house because I had to let go of the storage where we had put stuff that we could salvage after the fire. But in order to have money to buy, the wood that we need, I had to let go of that. So we had to put some stuff, but it's been removed. Most of it's already been removed. Scott Electric did offer to rewire the house, but we had to do the roof. And Habitat offered to do the roof, but we had to put in the joists and the rafters first, and then they would do the roof again, because we didn't have the money to buy the rafters and the joists and the other wood that was needed. It's been hard, and then I went into surgery beginning of this year for my back, and I came back out worse than what I went in. Ms. Garza has been wonderful. She tried to help me by taking me to the city, at the city hall to see if I could get assistance, but because of our taxes that we owe, I was not able to get assistance. And we've been trying to get our taxes lowered, because even after the fire and both of us being disabled, it's still almost $1,000 of taxes, it's over $800, the tax. I don't understand. And if we could get it lowered down, then I could have paid it off and maybe gotten some help from the city to rebuild or do something. Unfortunately, I'm having a lot of health problems with my lungs and like I said, my back. She left me worse than what I started off with. But we've been trying little by little. Mr. Juan Gomez, he's a architect. He's been trying to help us to do it, but again, it's the material. And we applied through the small business, but we didn't make enough income to get the loan approved. I've applied through other agencies, for homeowners assistance, and it was denied because of fire. And I've gone through the internet to try to see if there's any type of government grants. And unfortunately, I haven't been successful. The only thing we have left is our house. We lost our vehicles and everything after the fire. And I wanted to go home, but I can't because I don't have the money. And I've tried, even through the news media. Mr. Rudy Trevino tried to help us. Unfortunately, when he went into the house, he ended up in the hospital shortly after and ended up with pneumonia and had to be flown to San Antonio because he almost died going into the house. The fire department stated that the house was still livable. It wasn't. I mean, that's how he got sick, because there was a lot of fiberglass falling. The only thing I can say, if you give me time, then I'll sell the property and maybe we could get something else. We live in a one-bedroom apartment. And I hate it here because it's brand new and it's awful here. And then we're in this house, these apartments are not taken care of and the management is horrible. But that's all we can afford right now. I want to go home, but I can't get the help. And now with this COVID, I don't know if Habitat's gonna have the funds to help me do what they had committed to. And then the fires, you know, the electrician, I just, too many, $2 and something cents a piece of wood is not a lot, but to me it is because I don't have the money. And I have 3 associate degrees and I have no way of working. This doctor left me worse than what I went in. If I would have known, I wouldn't have that surgery because she's an alcoholic and has had a civil arrest from the state where she came from. But unfortunately, it's too late now. But all I'm asking is to give me the time to at least sell it so I can get some money to get out of this place. Even if it's a little bitty house, but at least somewhere where I can call home.
Go ahead, Nick.
Ma'am, this is Yvette Aguilar. I am very sorry for all the hardships that you've been going through. I just have a question. Would Habitat for Humanity be able to help you just build a new house from scratch if your house was demolished? Like, is it easier to get help that way, or have you discussed that with them?
Well, right now, because of this virus, I don't know, because they came out in the news where they were not getting funds. And that was one of the places that might shut down because of that. I went through I was gonna go, Ms. Garza took me right there to City Hall, same floor they're in, to see if I could get help. But again, because of my taxes being so high, we fell behind our taxes. Like I said, since we've been in this apartment for 3 years, all our money goes here. And I just started receiving retirement, but it's only $600. Worked all my life since I was 13 years old, and all I get is $600 a month. It's crazy. And I mean, my brother was supposed to get him paying my car payment because we couldn't afford it with my husband's disability. But since I started getting my retirement, I'm paying for my car, which is $319, and then the insurance $139. Not very much left. But I don't know if they're gonna have any funds. I don't know if they're gonna end up shutting down or not. But I did see it in the news that that was one of the places that might shut down because funds weren't coming in.
When was the last time you talked to somebody from Habitat?
It's been a while, since the end of last year.
Oh, okay.
I could go over there and find out and see, I believe her name's Jennifer. I went to the laundromat a couple of weeks ago and I set my phone down. I walked out, came right back in, and it was gone. So this new phone, I don't have no contacts or nothing. I'm gonna have to go physically over there. Mr. David from Bot Electric told me that they would help me with the rewiring of the house. See, at the beginning, Catholic Social Services, Mr. Francis told me, get out the house and write down everything that needed to be replaced. And I did. Went to Home Depot, and the lady there helped me for 3 days, almost a week, actually. And we got everything down. Well, by the time they submitted it to Mr. Francis is no longer there. And when I contacted the other lady from there, she told me I wasn't even in the computer. So it was just a nightmare, you know. It was like I was not even on their computer for a system. And then I don't know what happened after that because I called her and she said that right now they didn't have any funds. I would have to wait. And I don't even know the office, because they opened up a certain, Cross Bank, they opened up an office just for that, for assistance, but it was mainly because of the hurricane. But he was trying to help me because he said, even if it's not approved for FEMA, we have other agencies that might be able to help you. But then he was gone. By the time we got back to him, the lady from Home Depot and myself, he was already gone. He was no longer in that office. And apparently, it wasn't in I wasn't even in the computer. So the only thing I can say is I could go try with Habitat and see if they can help me. But I know back then, they were gonna only help me with the roof. And then I heard that on the TV after the Corvette, that those were one of the agencies that might shut down because there was no funds coming in.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Have you heard, Ms. Elizondo, have you heard of the Nueces County Community Action Agency?
Yes,
Because
ma'am,
they
I
have,
went over there.
and were they able to help you?
No, ma'am, they referred me to that homeowner's assistant. They helped me with with my light bill, but as far as the house was concerned, no. And they referred me to the homeowner, and I went and applied, but that was denied because of the fire.
All right, thank you.
I got a question. This is Pete. Diana, isn't there, I remember at the city, there used to be a program when you own the property or itself, and if it's paid off, that they could use that to get some type of a grant or loan to rebuild, like tear it down and start all over?
There is a grant through housing, but it's also based on your income guidelines. But because she has a huge amount of taxes overdue, nobody will help right now. She would have to do something with the taxes just before they can even.
And the taxes she owes was how much?
7,421. Yeah, she could try and see if she can do a payment plan. And maybe like that, maybe we can see if we can qualify her to do, but to demolish it, not to do a grant. Could we have a demo grant application, and if she does qualify, providing she does a payment plan on her taxes, and
I have a
being that
payment plan
she's
on my
like,
taxes.
being that she's she's not getting that much income, she could probably qualify for us to demolish the structure. That's as far as we can go.
And then she'd have to pay the taxes off, too.
Yeah, if she does her payment plan, yes, she would. I mean, we don't have to wait till she finishes paying off her taxes, but if she does a payment plan and we get something from the tax office saying that she is on the rotating thing to pay her taxes, then we can help her to do a demo.
Have you tried that, Ms. Elizondo?
Okay, I did apply. We're in the deferred plan, okay? But again, I pay whenever I have money. I pay $5 here, $10 there. But that's why I was trying to see if they would bring down the taxes because they were so high. And I received a letter that by January, since we're not living there, that they're gonna remove it from homestead. That means it's gonna go right back up even more.
Ms. Elizondo, question. This is Lillian Helms. Have you, you mentioned it, seriously considered your situation, selling the property as is?
Yes, ma'am. I have a broker by the name of Becky Salinas. And she said she would be willing to see if I tried selling it on my own, but I couldn't get over 60,000 for the house. I'm not gonna be able to buy anything. I can, like, I doubt it if I get qualified for a loan because since the fire credit went straight down. But even if I could, 62 years old, my husband's 73 years old. We can't get a 20-year plan to pay off a house. But if I could find any, and she's gonna try to put it out in the market, starting off at 115. That way, there's a leeway going up or down, enough to maybe get like a $70,000 house or something. But yes, I have considered it, I have spoken to her, and she is willing to help me.
Okay.
I have a question, Dana Garza, for Ms. Elizondo. Ms. Elizondo, do you have a mortgage on this house?
A mortgage?
Uh-huh,
No, ma'am,
okay,
it's paid for.
okay.
But can I ask a question?
I don't think they heard you. Go ahead.
Okay, as far as like, if they, I know like the city, what they had told me, understood, is if they demolition it, they're gonna build it, to their, I guess, they have certain rules and regulations. But if they were to build a smaller house, wouldn't it, this was my understanding, that it would lower the value of the neighborhood if it was not built to the same, almost the same structure that the house was already? Is that true?
Diana, did you hear that question?
No, I'm sorry, what was that?
So the
Okay,
question,
let's say
yeah, let her go ahead and repeat the question. This is Miss Elizondo.
Okay,
if they demolition the house, and like the city, I remember saying, they said that they would rebuild the house, but it wouldn't be like the same size of that house that I have right now. Would that affect in any way the value of the neighborhood? I mean, I know that there's some neighborhoods that are under some type of umbrella where,
is there an HOA there? Is that under the homeowners association in that area?
I don't know.
Because if it is, then they would have to follow that restriction that they have. It wouldn't be us doing it. But also, Ms. Elizondo, in order for that to happen through housing, in order for them to demo and rebuild a home, you would have to be living in that house. And you don't have active utilities since 2017.
No. I don't.
So they wouldn't qualify you like that. And also, I have a question. Since the fire of 2017 and you had been living there, that house was exempt through the taxes, right? That was your homestead?
Yes,
So you were exempt. Also, you signed a paper for deferred where the taxes, they won't charge you taxes, the regular taxes. I mean, they're going to charge you taxes, but not the whole full taxes? You remember?
because of my husband's disability. But
Yes, that was through the
lowered
tax
that
office,
much.
yes. But since the fire happened in 2017 and you have not been living in the house, then the tax office is going to remove the exemption and also the deferred, so you will have to pay actual taxes on that house, back from
Right,
2018 up to now. So you
Yes,
might need to
that-
look into that also.
I just received a letter stating that come January of 2021, if we're not living in the house, then they're going to remove it.
Okay,
I just
just to
got that.
be aware that's what you need to look into also. So when you start applying, and you need to make sure that, the amount of taxes you owe now before they add the additional taxes, you need to start making a payment plan.
Okay.
Options to sell. The best option would probably be to sell. See what you can get out of it.
Sorry, for the benefit of the people who aren't here in person, I see the board members that are here. This is Yvette Aguilar. Look like well, everybody in the room looks like they're looking to me for some guidance as to what the next step is. And we just heard Ms. Elizondo's situation is very difficult. So, I mean, you always have the
Do we
option to
discuss
table.
it before we take a motion, or do we table it? What's the?
You can
option?
discuss it, but I think some people were unclear of what you could do. So you could table it and ask her to come back to the next meeting with maybe an update on whether or not she's selling it or has a contract for sale, or by then have some sort of detailed plan for repairs or renovations that y'all can work with to possibly give her an extension. But it sounds like she has some research to do as to, one, whether or not she could, possibly have it demoed and have Habitat for Humanity rebuild something for her. Two, just sell it as is and see, what she can do from there. Or three, put a plan together to try and repair it. So it doesn't sound like she has recently really looked into what she can do on the property. So as a board, you don't have to make a decision today to say, yes, we want you to repair it within 30 days or whatever. You can table it and have her come back to the next meeting with a definite plan of where she's going before you make a decision.
I like that idea. To my fellow board members, I like that idea because I think she really needs to decide which way she wants to do. If she want to sell it or not sell it. If she doesn't want to sell it, she needs to have some definite plans in place.
And
So I think we need that additional information.
we might need to see, Diana, did you mention that there's some issues with kids getting into the building? Because you can also, if you table it, you can also maybe require it to make sure that it's secure so that people aren't getting into it. Because remember, in the meantime, it's kind of still a health and safety hazard. So you can also, with part of your motion to table, you can also make a motion in that motion to have some kind of requirement to secure the building from unauthorized entry.
Do we have to read something in advance to make the motion?
Excuse me, Lydia Elizondo. We have done that. I had a call from a gentleman from the city enforcement, and we put a bolt lock on the front door, sealed the door, and we have put a lock on the gate, and the garage door going to the outside has been boarded up, so it's secure now, all the way around.
Please, thank you, Ms. Elizondo. Just to answer Ms. Graham's question, so we do have on that, I think it's the first page behind the little tab, we do have something for you to read if you're making a motion to demolish there. But if you're not going to be making a motion to demolish and you're just going to be making a motion to table, then you can just do a general, somebody say, I make a motion to table for the next 60 days for the owner to come back and present evidence or what the plan is moving forward or something to that effect, and that she makes sure that the property's secure. So yeah, you don't have to say anything real specific if you're just trying to table it.
Okay. I would like to make this is Ms. Graham. I would like to make a motion for the board to table this particular case to the next board meeting to allow the owner to come back with some definite plans of actions, having researched selling the property immediately or some other form of repairs with specifics, and also to, in the meantime, make sure the home is secure. And whatever is required to protect the home and make sure it's secure from vandalism.
Lillian Helms, I second.
Okay, Mr. President, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing, and we'll take up Ms. Graham's motion, and Ms. Helms
Aye.
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 Okay, this is Liza Lopez, Code Compliance Program Manager. The next property up is 4513 Mokri. Pursuant to Article 2 and in accordance to Section 13-22B of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, this department has initiated and prepared the above-listed case for your review and consideration. On September 11, 2020, the code official determined that there were reasonable grounds to believe there was a violation of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code or any rule or regulation concerning the health, safety, or general welfare adopted by the city as it relates to structures or premises, and gave notice of such alleged violation to the owner of the property. 30 days have elapsed since the notice of violation was provided, and such violations have not been cured. Staff recommends a hearing be set not less than 10 days or more than 45 days from the date of this complaint. At this hearing, staff recommends for the above-listed property will be demolition.
Diana T. Garza, Code Compliance Officer. 4513 Moat Green. This is a fire structure also. Fire happened in August of 2020. On August the 7th of 2020, the city became aware of possible violations, at which time I conducted a building survey and took photos. On September the 11th of 2020, notice of violation letters were mailed out to all possible owners, occupant, and interested parties. On October the 19th of 2020, a reinspection was conducted, and the property was still in violation. On September the 11th and September the 12th of 2020, the notice of violation was published in the Caller Times. On October 26th and 27th of 2020, the notice of hearing was printed in the Caller Times. October 26th of 2020, I mailed the complainant's letter to the Building Standards Board members. Copies of each property was filed with the Nueces County Clerk's Office. On October the 27th of 2020, the notice of hearing was mailed out to all possible owners, occupant, and interested parties. Taxes as of October the 20th, 2020, amount due was $10,109.05. There is an active tax lawsuit. Utilities was terminated in July of 2018, and there has been contact with the owner. Back in August the 31st of 2020, we received a call from Ms. Ellen Hall, who is one of the owners, and she did state to us that she has no means of, no money coming in and no means of demoing the structure or repairing the structure. So this is our findings for 4513 Mokri. This is a two-story residence. The city had to board it up because there was people trying to get in and out of the structure. It's very dangerous towards the back part of it. The fire started up in the second floor, and it took just about the whole building. This is walking through the back side of the structure there. This is on one side, there's a residence to the left side, and the structure is just there, and it's dangerous, especially when we get a strong wind. This is the back part of the house. Just to the back, we're still in the backyard. This is to one of the, one of the bedrooms there. The kitchen area. This is the hallway. This is one of the other bedrooms. The ceiling from the bedroom. The bathroom area. This part of the second floor. The stairs leading up to the second floor. So we couldn't very well go upstairs because it was too dangerous for us to go in there. So this is my findings for 4513 Mockery. Yep.
This is Craig Leving. This question to Diana. You said that you spoke to the owner and there's no resources to address this property?
Yes, they don't have any means. I believe this is one that's owned by 3 siblings, and nobody has means of doing anything to it. So we did explain to her what was gonna happen, start the case, take it to the board, ask for demolition, and there's nothing that they wanna do with it. They really just clear their hands off of it.
Okay, thank you. Any other board members have any questions for staff?
Yeah, I just in looking at the pictures, it's beyond repairs. It's more beneficial to just demolish it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at this time, I will now open the public hearing regarding to this property located at 4513 Mockery. Is there anyone wanting to speak in favor or against staff's recommendation of the property located at 4513 Mockery? You may now present your comments to the board. Anyone want to speak on behalf of this property? Okay, I will now close public hearing. I'll accept the motion from the board.
Million Helms. I make the motion under the provisions of section 13-22H1C of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, and due to the substandard and dilapidated condition of the structures, a hazard to the health, safety, and welfare of the public is henceforth declared. Therefore, the owner be required to demolish the structure within 30 days. If demolition is not started and completed as required, then the city be authorized to demolish.
Thank you,
Second that
Leanne. Can I have a
motion.
second? Did I have a second?
Second by Graham.
Okay, all those
Thank
in
you.
favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, board. Thank you, staff. Move on to the next property.
Liza Lopez, Code Compliance Program Manager. The next property that we have up for is 410 Robert. Pursuant to Article 2 and in accordance to Section 13-22B of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, this department has initiated and prepared the above listed case for your review and consideration. On September 14, 2020, the code official determined that there was reasonable grounds to believe there was a violation of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code or any rule or regulation concerning the health, safety, or general welfare adopted by the city as it relates to structures or premises, and gave notice of such alleged violation to the owner of the property. 30 days have elapsed since the notice of violation was provided, and such violation has not been cured. Staff recommends a hearing to be set for not less than 10 days or more than 45 days from the date of this complaint. At this hearing, staff recommendation for the above listed property will be demolition.
Dana T. Garcia, Code Compliance Officer, presenting 410 Robert. Right? 410 Robert? Okay. On August the 4th of 2020, the city became aware of possible violations, at which time I conducted a building survey and took photos. September the 14th of 2020, a notice of violation letter was mailed out to all possible owners, occupant, and interested parties. October the 19th of 2020, a reinspection was conducted and the property was still in violation. September the 11th and September the 12th of 2020, notice of violation was published in the Color Times. October the 26th and October 27th of 2020, the notice of hearing was printed in the Color Times. October 26th of 2020, emailed the complainant's letter to the Building Standards Board. Copies of each property was filed with the Nueces County Clerk's Office. October 27th of 2020, the notice of hearing was mailed to all possible owners, occupant, and interested parties. The property owner is deceased. Taxes as of October the 20th of 2020, and the amount due is $29,689.19, and there is an active tax lawsuit. Utilities had been terminated since November of 2017. There's been no contact, and the city does have a lien, and they're maintaining the property right now. These are my findings for 410 Roberts. It's got a lot of rotted wood throughout the exterior of the building. And the window sills, rotted window sills also. Broken windows. Inadequate support of the back porch. The storage building in the back is wide open. The front door was wide open. We had to board it up. This is the going inside the property. You've got a little bit of mold and some broken sheetrock, but as far as the flooring, it's still in stable condition. There's no warping or anything on this thing, but there was people in and out of this building, and the neighbors were concerned. There was graffiti through the walls, and it was trashed. In the kitchen area. A little bit of broken sheetrock up in the ceiling. This was on one part of the structure towards the back. The other side of the kitchen area. In the bathroom area. And that was my finding for 410 Roberts.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you,
At this time, we'll hear from anyone, board members that would like to ask any questions of staff. There are no questions for the staff. Okay, then at this time, I will now open up public hearing regarding the property located at 410 Robert Street. If there's anyone wanting to speak in favor or against staff's recommendation of this property located at 410 Robert Street, you may now present your comments to the board. There's no one to speak on behalf of this property. I will now close the public hearing. And does anyone on the board have a motion?
Lillian Helms. Under the provisions of Section 1322H1C of the Corpus Christi Property Maintenance Code, and due to the substandard and dilapidated condition of the structure, a hazard to the health, safety, and welfare to the public is henceforth declared. Therefore, the owner be required to demolish the structure within 30 days. If demolition is not started and completed as required, then the city be authorized to demolish.
Second that motion, Graham.
Thank
and
you.
thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Okay, whenever staff's ready, we'll move on to the next property.
That was actually the last one, 914 West Point was pulled.
Hi, this is Yvette from legal. We did have to pull 914 West Point because I believe we needed to send notice to one of the possible heirs. And that heir is also in the process of selling the property, hopefully. So, you know, maybe in the next 60 days, it won't be an issue. But, so yes, we had to pull that property. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay, that would be good.
no, fine. Are you, John, sir, are you here to speak to the board on anything? Oh, okay, very good. Okay, does staff wish to address the board identifying items for future agenda?
This is Yvette from legal. Just for clarification, this is a new board, right? Do we need to, at the next meeting, we need to make sure we put on the agenda that we need to vote on a
A chair and vice chair.
chair and vice chair? Okay, just so that everybody's aware.
Okay, so that's gonna be on the next meeting's agenda, voting on a chair and a vice chair. Any other items to be identified right now?
Do we already have a date for the next meeting set?
January 28th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone know of anything else to be addressed at this meeting?
We
I just want
might
to say
need to
it's
do,
good.
oh, go ahead.
I just want to say it's good to have a meeting again, everybody.
Thank you, yes.
And
I
welcome to all the new, and welcome to all the new members.
Yes, I'm learning a lot. I'm gonna go back and reread those regulations.
I hope we do.
We might be doing our next meeting through WebEx, but we will notify the board again and see how we're gonna
The
handle
whole
that one
meeting will be
again.
WebEx, we won't come here at all?
Well,
We can come the way we had it before. We can accommodate for everybody. We'll have to put some in the back of the room. It will be closed off to the public, though, and they will be able to come through WebEx to have any comments or anything like they did today. But the board is able to come in. We are able to accommodate the 7 people.
Excellent. I kind of like seeing everybody.
Yes, yes.
Okay, then, with the meeting of the Corpus Christi's Building and Standards Board is now adjourned at 3 o'clock.